One of the biggest problems we have in the city of Chicago right now, in my view, is a mayor that's completely inaccessible. Will only agree to talk to legitimate media sites in controlled circumstances.
Yeah.
And then immediately becomes defensive if there's any criticism. That's not what we were told Brandon Johnson would be. And the bigger picture, and more importantly to me, is how he is treating those who are trying to change the city in positive ways. We often talk about our friend Pastor Corey and what he's trying to do with that site he's building. And, of course, Father Pfleger's been in the news forever, trying to save kids and trying to do the right thing. And he's taken controversial stances left and right. He's taken heat for it, and he's willing to do it again. And Father Pfleger joins us now. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Stephen. How you doing?
Nice to have you back. It's been a while.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good to be back. Thank you.
Have you had a similar experience with Brandon Johnson and the fact that he's not returning phone calls? Is he accessible to you?
No, I have no access to him at all. There was a group of us that tried for a couple of months to get a meeting, and it never could happen. So I've just kind of moved on.
How about to the Archdiocese in general? Does he talk to the Cardinal?
I don't know. I do know early on I had a conversation with the Cardinal when he was willing to offer buildings for the migrant situation. But then that seeming like that has moved very, very slowly. I knew the Cardinal did. Originally he was going to give buildings, and then I think he decided to offer them rent-free, and the diocese would continue ownership. But that doesn't seem to have moved real quickly. I think there's been a couple now that are being turned into places for migrants and for other homeless to stay. But I know the diocese offered a number of them.
You don't get to achieve the longevity that you have had in this city in very tough parishes without being a guy that knows and is sophisticated about how the city is run and how it's not run. What's your take on all of this? Disorganization, not ready for prime time, disinterest, what is it?
I'm not really sure because I don't have access and I have not had conversations. I don't really understand what it is. I think, obviously, he's new in the role. I don't think he's, because he has not been in government before. I was sorry to see Rich leave as chief of staff because I think that he had a real handle on
it's Rich Guidance.
Right, Rich Guidance, I'm sorry. But I think he could have been very helpful. I mean, my concern is that, we have major, major issues right now. Not just the migrant homelessness. We have 67,000 homeless in Chicago, and plus the 36,000 migrants that came. So we got close to 100,000 homeless in Chicago. Now been working very hard for the last 3 months on trying to address it, and I think we're going to have some good news in the next week. I think we're going to have DC come out here, and we're going to do a one-day resource fair for all homeless in Chicago.
Well, that's great.
Services and a pledge from the Biden administration of some billions of dollars. So, my thing has been at this point, Steve, is just do what I do, keep doing it, and try to make a difference. I can, whatever a difference I can make. And we got the homeless situation. We got NASCAR coming. We got the DNC coming. We have a lot of Palooza coming, and you saw last weekend, with just a warm weekend, we had 50 some people shot, 9 killed. It's frightening to think that happened in April, and so my thing has been trying to really challenge neighborhoods, blocks, communities, not wait for something to come down, but organize your block, organize your neighborhood.
Be proactive. Don't wait.
Yeah, we've got to be. If we're not otherwise we're back shaking our heads saying how horrible the shootings are rather than saying, what did I do? And I think every person in this city's got to ask, what can I do in my house? I mean, first of all, everybody's using these cameras. Everybody got TikTok and all this stuff. Well, let's use our cameras to start, video recording things we see in our block that we're concerned about and turning it over to the police. Let's talk to our children about the value of their life and how much we love them and care about them and know where they're at. But, everybody has the ability to know where your child's at. We can track them. Mm-hmm. If we see our child downtown at 10 o'clock on a Friday night and they're 16 years old, we need to call them and tell them we're coming our way to pick them up. We also got to teach our young people. I've been fighting this for about 5 years, so I don't understand why in our school system, both the archdiocese and the public school system, it's a captive audience. Why are we not teaching from preschool to senior high school conflict resolution, peer leadership, dangers of guns, and how to stay away from them as a child, how to have a conversation to talk about our peers and be leaders.
It ought to be mandatory curriculum. What you're describing should be mandatory in every school. And by the way, it ought to be mandatory in the burbs, too, so kids understand what's going on.
Oh, yeah, because it's happening there, too. A lot of these mass shootings are in suburban schools. We got to have, why are we not teaching our children? I brought this up to CPS head after head. I brought this up to Archdiocese head of education for years and years. I don't get it. I just don't understand.
Just talk. It's all talk. Nobody's doing that. You're giving them ideas and they're not taking any action. Well, on the DNC, there's been a story attributed to you that you want to see it canceled. Talk about that.
Well, I said my concern is this. We have this major homeless situation in Chicago. And here's going to be the DNC come in and bring in, they're going to spend millions of dollars here. There's going to be parties and lobbying and all these affairs. And I said, they come in and spend millions of dollars downtown, get up and leave Chicago, and we're in the same mess we were before they came. So I said, if they don't come in and first, before they come in, make some commitment to what they're going to do about this poverty and this homeless situation in particular, then why would we want them here? Stay home. Keep do it someplace else. So as a result of that, I've had a number of conversations with Mignon Moore, who was the chair of the convention, and Richard, the guy who was the executive director who's here now, as well as Secretary Fudge, head of HUD, before she retired at the end of March. And we've got some movement. I've been talking to Karen Bass out in Los Angeles, who has a really good approach to the homeless situation in L.A., and I've been talking to the governor's office here. So I have not had good communication, unfortunately, with City Hall about it. But I'm just moving on with the people I'm talking to. So we're going to see this thing in May come in with some real commitment and commitment of monies, commitment of resources, and how to deal with this homeless issue. So I said, I don't want the DNC to come here in Chicago. First of all, I'm concerned that we're going to have another 1968 here.
Right.
And so that concerns me.
Yeah.
But also, I do have a lot of faith and confidence in Larry Snelling. I've known him for a long time when he was over commander of Englewood. I have a lot of respect for him. I saw.
Well, that's good to hear that because you do know. So that's good to hear that you got his back.
Well, he's got a whole lot on his plate. I'll tell you.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
But I think that the convention should not be coming here if they're not going to deal with some of the issues. And the other thing, just for their own political sense, we got a reality that people 40 and under, who I think the Democrats are calling on voting, are saying they're not going to vote.
Yeah, how about that?
Right.
Look at the elections we've had so far.
Right, you got 30% showing up for the mayor's race, state's attorney, less than 30.
Well, and that's right. And if we're going to put Chicago on display, we better be ready for it. And that goes all the way to the mayor's office.
Absolutely. Well, I think there has to be we're going to have to become very, very aggressive. I think we're going to be very organized and disciplined. And right now, I'm concerned for the city where I see we're at right now. I was very, upset about the move for the shot spotter being removed.
And
my feeling has been this. I know now that David Moore and others have a bill in the city council to have the aldermen make those decisions. But here's my thought: if I'm mayor and I hire Larry Snelling, and I say I trust him as being the best person to handle violence and the policing in this city, then in my mind, the community, the alderman, the mayor, nobody should be making that decision but Larry Snelling.
Right.
If Larry says this tool helps me deal with violence in the city, then keep it till you get something else. If he says I don't need this, then fine, let's get rid of it. But he should make that choice.
Yeah, now you're bringing common sense into this, Father, and you know there's no place for that in 2024. Father Pfleger, it's always a good thing when you're speaking out about this stuff. I know you won't stop, and we won't stop having you on, so thanks for coming on today.
Thank you.
Well, thank you all very much. Take care and be blessed.
Yeah, be healthy. Father Pfleger.